to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Virtual CFO Blogs. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha.
Hello, I'm Scot Justice, the Virtual CFO. And as you learned by the introduction to this video, that today is the third birthday of the Virtual CFO blog. And I want to start out by saying thank you to the readers of my blog. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your emails and your phone calls. I'm astounded sometimes at the reach that the Virtual CFO blog has. I was looking at the statistics this morning, and I saw that in the last 6 months, people have read this blog from 122 different countries, from 49 out of the 50 states in the United States, and from the District of Columbia. And in the last few months, I've received phone calls from Mexico, from various states in the United States, and from Canada concerning things I posted about and people asking me questions that have to do with financial management and accounting for small business and entrepreneurs. And I'd like to thank you for that, because it's very humbling for me. And it's especially humbling for me when you consider that my blog was really created to be a newsletter and a source of information for my clients and prospects of my public accounting firm. The idea for the blog came from Bill Seaver, who is a Web 2.0 consultant in Nashville. And Bill owns a company called Micro Explosion. And Bill was helping me with the logo for CPA for Small Business and what they call the identity pack, which would be business cards, letterhead envelopes, things like that. And one day over coffee, I mentioned to Bill that I was going to create a place on my website for a newsletter, and that I was going to write the newsletter myself and save it as a PDF and put it up on my website for people to see and pull down and use. And what's significant to me about saying I was going to write my own newsletter is it's standard operating procedure for CPA firms to have newsletters that they give to their clients. But most of those newsletters are not written in-house and not written by the CPA firm that distributes them. They're written by a third-party company that specializes in writing newsletters for professional services, and they have several forms to choose from, tax-related or financial statement-related, and then the people who produce them, they put the CPA firm's logo on it and address and send them to the CPA firm, then they give them to their clients. And what I wanted to do was write a newsletter specifically for my client base, which is small business owners and entrepreneurs. And I was telling Bill this, and Bill said, Scott, you don't need to do a newsletter, you need to do a blog. Because blogs are where people right now are going for information, and blogs are going to be the future of where people look for reference material. And after thinking about it, I decided that I was going to start the Virtual CFO blog. And when I started this blog, one of the decisions I made is that my blog was not going to be an overt sales tool. And what I mean by that is that I wasn't going to have every blog post end by trying to create a conversation of how CPA for small business could help you, or writing articles that came up to a solution point and then said you need to call me if you need help with this or if your company is struggling with this situation. And there's a reason I made that decision. A couple of years before starting the Virtual CFO blog, my wife Linda gave me my first iPod. And shortly after getting my iPod up and running and all my music on it, I decided to start listening to podcasts that were related to small business issues. At the time, I was the CFO of a printing company in Nashville. We had 3 locations, 41 employees, and I'm a person that believes you need to continually learn. And one of the ways to learn is listening to podcasts that has an educational value. And over a week period, I downloaded 4 or 5 different podcasters' podcasts, and at the very least, what they were infomercials for the company that the person was creating the podcast for, where every few minutes you would have them say, here's our company name, give us a call, buy now. And the worst one, and it was the last podcast I listened to in this genre, was a guy who was talking about crisis in small business and how to confront crisis in small business. And it was a 10-minute podcast, and what he did is that for 2 minutes he would build up a problem and create a problem to the point of giving a solution, and then he'd say, well, if you've had a problem like this, call me at 555-5555, and then he went on to the next topic, and he didn't try and give any educational value or give anything of value to the person who was listening. He just identified problems, and he did that through 3 cycles. And that's the last time I listened to podcasts that had to do with small business. So when I opened up and started my blog, I wanted to make sure that my blog was not seen that way. I wanted my blog to be a reference tool for entrepreneurs and small businesses, and in particular my clients and prospects to my public accounting firm. And I wanted it to be someplace where either clients and prospects could go to, or I could point them to give them an overview of some part of their business, whether it be budgeting or business plan writing or cash flow management, things like that. And with the readership I have on my blog, I feel that I've accomplished that, but I've accomplished it well beyond what my dreams were when I started the blog. I looked at the statistics this morning, and since January, I've averaged 62 visitors to my blog every day. And that's a mix of people who come in from search traffic and search small business issues, and then I have people who subscribe to my blog's RSS feed. And that's really humbling to me because, like most bloggers, I keep up with blogging news. And there was an article last year in the New York Times. And the article talked about how 95% of blogs are dead, basically. They have no readers and haven't had any update in 120 days. And out of that 5% who are active blogs, very few of them have subscribers or have an audience. And I'm very humbled with the audience I have, and as I said earlier, I have people all over the world email me. And in the last few months, I've had people from the United States, from all over the United States, from Canada, and from Mexico call me to discuss small business financial management and accounting issues. And I want to say that thank you. Just thank you. And thank you for the comments that you leave on the blog. And I have a handful of comments, but I get a lot more emails from people asking questions or saying that they enjoy reading my blog. And then I get the phone calls. And the thing that I want you to know is it's seeing the statistics of my blog and the number of readers I have, along with the comments, that really drive me to continue putting up posts and blog series on the Virtual CFO blog. Because it lets me know that there's a worldwide need for information on how to run an entrepreneurial company or a small business. So thank you. And this is the very first video blog that I'm going to post. And I've had the idea of doing a video blog for a while, and for the 3rd birthday I decided to do something special and jump off that cliff and start video blogs. And what I have in mind for the video blogs are topics that don't really fit in with a series. I'm finishing up a series right now on budgeting for small business. And there are times where I just have things to say that I think can be communicated better by video and by audio and by a video blog than doing it in a formal blog post. And you're going to see periodically I'm going to be posting up videos. So I hope you enjoy the video blogs that I'll be posting periodically. I don't know how often, and hopefully the next one will come out soon, and I hope you like them, and I hope you continue reading the blog, and thank you again, and please continue with your emails and your phone calls and your comments on my blog, because they mean a lot to me, and they also help me with future blog posts and blog series. So thank you for watching this video blog. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later.